What's going on, guys? Welcome back to No Impulse Control. I am Justin.
I'm Jasmine.
And today is 62, 3, something like that. We're at 60 something.
63rd.
There we go, 63rd episode. And I don't know about you, but I'm so tired of the snow.
Do you hear we're supposed to get a remote day
Yeah,
tomorrow?
well, you know what's so frustrating? You
frustrated.
know what's so frustrating about that?
No, you're not gonna get one. You're gonna have to drive in the snow. All 5 days.
It's 3. Thank you very much. That was me getting angry.
No,
If you
it's
were looking,
5
I would
with the
have shaken
snow.
it, but I'm from the county. I don't drive slow in snow. I just punched my mic. I'm sorry. Um, no, I am so frustrated with how schools do this. Like, I don't understand it. Maybe it's because I'm not a parent. I almost said not an adult, and I was like, "Ooh, that's not it." But not a parent. Why don't like if you have the capabilities to do a remote day, why is it not called the day before? And just say something along the lines of like due to the potential of this
So,
storm.
can I tell you what we do?
Mm-hmm.
Because we sent stuff home today
Mm-hmm.
in the chance that we have a remote day tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And we send a letter home that says, due to inclement weather, prepare for a remote day. You muzzle tov if it's not. So, like, we do that. It is possible.
Yeah, it's possible, and our district could do it. Like we
Don't
sent
your kids take their shit home stuff home every day?
the high schoolers do. Middle school or elementary school you have to like prepare them for it, like type of thing. Which I get, that's
I'm gonna be
and
honest with
then
you. Elementary schoolers should not be doing remote.
no, not even a
Let me
little bit.
just, as a teacher, let me just put that out there.
As a elementary school teacher,
These children suck at remote. And the moms and dads that are sitting right next to them going, okay, now press this. They're learning how to do nothing. You're just doing it for them.
yeah.
Just you hop on and then go teach. You know what I mean? Like just
Yeah.
we
But yeah,
gotta figure out a better way to do this system for children, young
I
children.
just I just don't understand why, because like we send home the way that we have to make sure we count the day so it can be a remote day and counted is we have to send home lunches, and then they have to have like, computers and stuff to do.
Uh-huh.
That's like the line. So the fact that like we sent home lunches today, so to me that if we're sending home lunches, we should give it to the parents and say, "Hey, we are planning a remote day tomorrow.
That's what we do. Yeah, we send
Be
home
prepared for
lunches.
that." Like just kind of
Do you
like
guys
be
not
prepared
have
for that.
do you guys not have stuff at your school that can you just like quick make lunches?
They do. But it's only when we are thinking ahead and saying we're going to do a snow day or thinking that we're going to do a
So
snow day.
okay, so what I'm hearing is that because I know your district, but what I'm hearing but what I'm hearing is instead of them like pulling out their iPhone and looking at the weather app and being like, "Oh damn, there's a storm tomorrow. Maybe we should send stuff home." They just wait until the morning of and then they're like, "Oh, we can't call remote. We didn't send anything."
Mm-hmm.
Am I correct on that?
Mm-hmm. And it doesn't help. And like to be fair, because if we were in that position, we'd also have this problem. But to be fair, there are different
Every
like
Monday I'd send 5 home.
you
They were
could
ready for the week.
you could, but in in a district that's battling for every penny right now, I don't know that sending 5 home would be financially responsible. Because currently there is still conversations about who's going to get cut for positions.
Are you one of those people? Because we got openings.
Not. I'm not high on the list of people who would get cut. I'm also not high on the list of who's going to be safe. I'm kind of like mediocre right now.
So you're rocket in the middle?
I'm kind of in the middle in terms of safety of my job.
Okay. Okay.
Because realistically, our gym teacher, could teach a health class.
Hey, my
Rude.
volume is apparently on full blast. I'm trying to pull up the good news thing that I wanted to tell you about snow days.
But
My
yeah,
volume that I muted.
Talok definitely could teach a health class or 2 and work in that. But also at the same time,
Ye olden days of health.
yeah, basically.
Not that
But
I don't
then
think Tatlock's a good teacher. That's not what I
no,
meant.
but
Sorry, but
no, but it's I mean, they used to have the gym teachers teach health because they were
right,
so interlocked when and realistically, yeah,
right,
they are.
right.
But then on the flip side of that, I am the youngest teacher. I have the least amount of experience, and I also am
Hmm. Hmm.
a position that
Hey, you're totally frozen for me.
am I? Are you hearing me though?
I'm hearing you. You're just frozen.
Okay, that's fine. I'm
Oh,
sure
you're
it'll be
back.
fine in the okay.
Hmm. In post.
Yeah, in post it'll be fine. But yeah, I'm in a position that like conservative culture community don't specifically
Mm-hmm.
love. So there's also that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
just to add insult to injury, my specific towns are
Mm-hmm.
considering or trying to consider a I don't know what it would be called, but basically pulling out of the RSU. The taxes on this budget are being spiked, and people don't understand that it's not based only on the school.
Well, so here's the thing. Let me just
Yeah.
let y'all know. When you vote for people, your vote for those people directly impacts how much you pay for things, right? So when you vote for people who hate children and education,
Or
they
hate
do
just anybody
things
who's
like
educated in any term or in any sense.
right. When you vote for those people, which
Certain
y'all know who
people.
I'm talking about, um, you directly have to find out what happens with the rest of us who have been saying things like, "Hey, pal, if you vote for that person, you're gonna have to pay more for this thing." Um, so you can pull out of the RSU, but that will fix nothing.
It'll
Um,
spike everything. We teachers won't get paid
yeah,
as much, and then the taxes are still going to be high on everybody. Like it
right.
might drop a little bit. It's still going to be high though. Like if we're being real.
But also, I just want to say too, of all the things that I pay taxes for, children's education really high up on that list. I would rather pay more for my kids' tax for like my kids' education.
Yeah. And the
Um,
taxes are it's like it's the town taxes is more so what people are freaking out about, which is why I said it's not only about the school. It's about like yes, the school budget factors into that, but it's about the
it's about so
what's
many of those things.
there's a specific word for it. Appraisals. It's about the town appraisal.
Right.
Buckfield recently went through a town appraisal. Everybody got spiked taxed wise. Our real estate tax went up,
I
and
was gonna say how high is your like you don't have to tell me exact number, but did it go up like a significant amount?
it went up a good, yeah, it was a good chunk.
Okay.
It wasn't tiny. But then also with this, we recently got like with the budget in previous years when they went and tried to get the budget to pass, they had
Mm-hmm.
to go up a couple of percentages, which was like 7 or 8, which was high. It was kind of high for the situation. And then now we're looking at 9 to 10%. So added those two
Okay.
back to back percentage. I understand the frustration as a
Yeah.
person who lives in the town. I understand
Yeah.
the frustration. As a teacher, I'm like, but your kids, like these are your kids. These are the ones that are in
Well,
your homes.
I also think that we as a country do a really crappy job of how we tax folks, you know?
Taxes are
And
stupid. Yes.
yeah, and like I don't mind paying taxes for community. Also, I'm like deep into the socialism thing at the moment. Um at the moment she says as if
At the
she hasn't
moment.
always been. um but I don't mind my taxes going for community things. Like, I do want my taxes to pay for Sally's healthcare down the street
Mhm,
because Sally's taxes help pay for my healthcare, help her pay for bills, help pay for like we help each other because we're a community.
mhm.
Um, back in my day, But we do a really bad job of like taxing people that need to be taxed, and then
Yep.
overtaxing people who make little to no money,
That
and
was
then
kind of where I
saying
was going to go. Yep.
right, and then saying like the people who need to be taxed more, who aren't being taxed, going, you guys, someone in Washington is taxing you, motherfucker. It's you. Pay
You're the
your
one in
share.
charge.
Pay your share. So anyway, yeah, taxes, man. I don't own a house right now. I'm sorry, guys. I'm dying. My classroom is the plague. Um, and I'm just like praying I don't get it before this weekend because I would really like to go this weekend,
Mhm.
Darcy's birthday, but I will not bring the plague to you guys.
Yeah, don't.
If by Friday I feel like shit, like I will let you guys know. I'm thinking I'm fine. I'm just gonna will it away. But if I get sick with what everybody's got, I cannot come near people because we've had staff out for like 3 days.
Mhm.
So I will not be bringing that to your home. I promise. Anyway, I don't own a house right now. I rent, so I don't have to pay income tax, or I don't have to pay property taxes and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
I have to pay it from my income that goes to the government. And I gotta tell you, my taxes ain't going for shit. Social Security, what's that gonna be in 40 years? 40 years.
40 years? You mean like 2 years?
70. Well, I meant like when we retire.
Oh, well.
Remember when people retired, Justin?
I was going to say, who says we're retiring? That's
Yeah.
funny. You're funny. You're so funny.
So anyway.
Anyways, yeah. So speaking of people who are causing a ruckus in popular or in not popular in governmental seats.
Yeah.
I can't think about it. This is a good thing, and this might be one of the good things that you were gonna
Are
bring
you
up.
about to steal my article?
I'm definitely gonna steal your article.
Do not.
Oh, I'm doing it. It's already. It was on my list. I'm sorry. So, this I think he's New Jersey's
No!
Democratic
This is my guy!
Senate.
Go
Uh,
I've been waiting all week to talk about this.
Okay, I'm gonna you give details. You can give details because I don't know
Because I have the
details.
whole thing. So,
Yeah, I know.
Cory Booker is a senator from New Jersey. He's been a senator since the Obama era. He's pretty. I mean, he's outspoken but cautious. But the last few days, he decided that caution be damned,
Yeah.
and he filibustered, which I have the definition for filibuster.
Not just I'll be damned. Didn't he say something about like I wanna get in
Yeah.
a little trouble here or something like that?
Good trouble. He wants to do
Good
some
trouble.
So filibuster is a political procedure where members basically say, "No, you shut up," and they just talk for as long as they are physically able in order to prevent or to delay a decision. So, like, if any of you have seen like Parks and Rec, Leslie Knope does it to delay like some decision that had to be done by a certain deadline. And she like at one point she's got like roller skates on and she's like roller skating and they switch people every so often. Now, if you switch people, they also have to be there for the entire time. The previous record holder of the longest filibuster ever in history was a man named Strom.
Who cares?
Thurmond.
Fuck him. I mean, screw him.
No, you know what? You're so accurate though, because Strom, good old Strom, I don't know his name. It really doesn't matter because he's
Pastrami, yeah.
This man started at 8:54 p.m. and went until 9:12 the following day, so 24 hours and 18 minutes. He was filibustering for the decision towards legislation of Civil Rights Act of 1957. So this man was saying he did not want the Civil Rights Act to happen. I bet you can guess that this was a white man, folks. Folks at home, give yourself a point. Because
give yourself two if you can figure out who or what color.
What race Cory is.
Thank you.
2 points to those of you who said he is a distinguished black man, because he is. He is well spoken. He is like he knows his shit. He knows the policies in and out, all of that stuff. That really sounded like I was saying that. Never mind. It made in my head it made it sound like I was being more weird about it than I meant to be. I have a pounding headache, everybody. I'm so sorry.
Basically, this guy, this Cory Booker,
Showed up.
destroyed the previous record of a racist guy who didn't
Yes.
want black people to have rights. Being that Cory is a black man, so now he holds the current record for a filibuster,
25 and a half hours. Or 25
which is
hours?
awesome.
25 hours. By the way, you ever talked for 25 hours, Justin?
I couldn't imagine it, and we talk a lot.
We talk a lot. I think the two of us together may have hit 19.
I think we could probably do 25, but not by ourselves. I think we'd have to be sitting together.
Like, oh, we'd have to be. But this man didn't stop talking for 25 hours. And he didn't repeat a single point.
Which is wild.
By the way, horrifying.
I couldn't do that, and I teach, so...
Horrifying that he had 25 hours worth of criticisms that are real.
Yep.
And it was mostly towards one person, but
Take a guess at who that might be. You'll get a third point.
So I have so Newsweek posted a timeline. So 5:50 a.m. is Cory Booker still speaking? Why? This was his 11th hour. He broke up his speech into several topics, brought a large binder with him. As of 5:55 yesterday morning, he was talking about immigration enforcement, Trump administration, due process to El Salvador, which is insane, and Elon Musk. And then he went on to a whole bunch of other things, mostly focused on the tail end of the El Salvadorian issues. People being traumatized by all of the horrifying deportations that are just happening. You've been seeing these people that are getting snatched off the street, by the way?
No, I don't go to that side of TikTok.
This wasn't even TikTok. This was everywhere. There was a woman. She was wearing a hijab in.
Oh, I did see that one.
Where 5.
She's like a professor, isn't she?
No, she's just a student. But still, she's a college student. She's a grad student.
Mm-hmm.
But she was she was minding her own business. She has a visa. She was legally allowed to and good to be here. Her visa wasn't close to expiring, nothing. 5 unmarked ICE agents showed up in an unmarked vehicle and kidnapped her. Told her, they just swarmed her. No papers, no nothing. They just took her because she posted something on her social media about supporting Palestine. What? That is so, for all... I'm sorry, I'm going here at this point because I can't be quiet about it anymore because people are being kidnapped, and silence is compliance, So I have a lot of people that I know who will never watch this because I know who they are as people. I have a lot of people that I know that have said for quite a while that, that whole, well, as long as people come here legally, as long as they do it legally, then they're good. Except if they post something that you don't like. What happened to that freedom of speech y'all really like? What happened to that freedom of speech thing? And then they come back with, well, it's freedom of speech, not freedom of consequence. Oh, except if you were at January 6th and you were storming the Capitol, and then it's freedom of speech and also freedom from consequence. What? It doesn't make sense.
I don't like
More for
that.
me and none for thee does not work as a country.
Yeah, I don't like the. I don't like that. If it were flipped, if the roles were flipped, the attitude would be different.
If bunch of unmarked ICE agents showed up and abducted a white man and just deported him somewhere, there would be riots in the street and houses would burn down.
Yeah. I also don't like, and this is more of a Democrat versus Republican thing. If the riots were done by Democrats, then it would have been Republicans freaking out.
Here's the thing. Not to say no Democrats would. I want that to be on record that I am saying that there are some horrible Democrats too. And there are some nice Republicans. There are no good conservatives, though. Just be very clear about that. Anyone supporting MAGA also think you're a bad person. Just going forward, I need that to be very clear of where I stand. I don't support you, and I hope you
What's
burn in
that
hell.
Pink song? I don't want to be friends.
Um,
I don't want to be friends. What? Oh, Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga song.
oh, I've gone
I don't
past I don't want to
want
be
to be
friends. I hope
friends.
they burn in hell.
Yeah,
I
I
want
heard
their
you the first
skin
time. Yeah, no, I
to
got you.
peel off
Kind of gruesome, but yeah.
and their bones to boil.
Kids, watch this.
I need it to be known. They're not my kids. They should know that the people they support are a direct reflection of who they are as people. It's not cool or funny to support a dictator who is actively harming all the communities that involve them.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I'm with you here. Yeah, I'm with you here. I just the gruesome part is more what I was
oh,
worried
they know
about.
who I am as a person. It's fine. That is the least gruesome thing they've seen this week or heard this week. They're watching sex on TikTok, Justin. I am the least gruesome thing.
Wild. But yeah.
Am I
So
wrong?
I don't know what they watch on TikTok. I'm not on their side. I got puppies and giraffes and pandas is what I got.
Well, that's who you interact with. But anyway, I don't know where I had started with this, but and oh yeah, if the roles were reversed, like
I'm sorry.
there would be legislation being like added and put into place to like condemn these people and like the constitution would be followed, blah blah blah. But if it happens to them, it's like, well, but Trump didn't but Trump was okay with it. So it's okay.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
What I don't understand is why are people in Senate and in the House sitting on their hands?
Why are they doing nothing?
I just don't I don't and like this is not me coming after anybody. I'm literally not
I'm
like
coming after them.
that's fine. I can't comprehend why people like whether you are against or with like there is nothing happening. It's like a freeze. I just don't get it.
Oh, don't worry. There's lots happening. There's
They're
there's
just
a lot
focused
of
on the wrong things.
well, there's a lot of legislation happening, right? And so like being published and whatnot. And a lot of Democrats that we're seeing in Congress and in the Senate and in the House are sitting there going, guys, that's not nice, guys. And they're just doing that. And they're posting on social media. They're like, we have to stop the right from taking over. So stop the right. When they come to you and they're like, hey, should Pete Hegseth be appointed this like really high classified position? That's another thing we should talk about, by the way. That group chat, we should discuss that.
Group chat's wild.
Petition to name a new group chat with that name. We don't have any other friends, though.
I was gonna say it's just you and I that would be in it. So
it's fine.
We could probably get a couple people to join.
Shannon would join us.
She would definitely join.
She would join us. Anyway, so when they come to you and they're like, "Hey, should we let Pete Hegseth like be the like national security person?" Stop saying yes. When they ask you if this like highly unqualified person should be, there were those Senate hearings for all of those like newly appointed positions, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they were grilling them, and they were like, "You're highly unqualified." And then they turned around. The people saying you are highly unqualified turned around and checked, yes, they should be in. Why? Why would you do that? Who is paying you? Actually, I know who's paying you. I'm paying you. You're paying them. We're all paying them.
Well, not all of us. Some people don't have to pay their taxes.
I know. Anyway,
so
Corey Brooks is a goddamn hero. He's doing something.
He is doing, and then that the Texas one too. I can't remember his name. He was a guy. He walked around with a cane in the House or Senate. He literally he was kicked out one day because he would not stop.
Yes. He did the same thing that Marjorie Taylor Greene did when Joe Biden was talking, or Kamala Harris. One of the two was talking.
Mm-hmm.
But he did the same thing where he interrupted the same way she did, and he got kicked out. She got praised.
Yeah.
Also, sorry, Marjorie Taylor Greene, did you see her most recent interview?
She's done a lot, so no.
Yeah, well, that's fair. She's looking worse and worse by the day.
When you make deals with the devil,
That's what evil does to you, yeah. So, following, for those of you that don't know, because I'm sure there are some people that don't know, there was a group chat that Pete Hegseth, who is our national security advisor currently, or security, he's high up, and then like a bunch of top level, like really, uh, really high important people that should be talking on like classified channels had on this app called Signal, which is like an encrypted messaging app. My mom uses it, so like not to say my mom is doing anything wrong, but just like it's not like high level government, you know? Like I've talked to people on Signal. You just like I used my Google account to make it
Mm-hmm.
just for like reference. It's not secure. They added the executive editing officer or the chief editing person
One of the
The Atlantic.
journalists. Yeah.
Oh, not even the journalist, the top journalist of The Atlantic, who is often at press briefings. They added him to their like super secret best friend group chat where they were discussing classified military info such as the exact time and location of when they were going to drop bombs on Yemen, the exact location of multiple CIA agents, and revealed like identities and like who they are and where they are. Thank God the man from the Atlantic was not like a piece of shit
Yeah.
who would have just like sold that information off, because
Mm-hmm.
he could have made millions.
Oh, he would be sitting pretty right now.
Trillions of dollars. He also would have
Actually,
been murked
he would
almost
be
instantly.
dead. Yeah.
Yeah, he'd be murked pretty quickly. Well, maybe, who's to say in this time and age, you know? And yeah, they just added him. So while they're doing this, I don't know about you with group chats, I pretty consistently check
Yeah, I
who's in
don't
the
like the
group chat with me.
notifications.
Yeah, I don't like the notifications, but if I'm in a group chat, I want to know who's in that group chat. So like when my teacher group messages, there's a couple numbers I don't know, so I only like and love React things. I don't really respond because I don't know who they are. And it's not that I don't trust them. They work at my school, but like I don't want to say a kid's name or something and break confidentiality if like for some reason it's one of my admin's moms that they added or something, right?
Right, right.
However, if I release a kid's name, like first name, it's bad, but it's not, you know, horrible. It's breaking some laws, but it's not releasing information about like top level military contracts in a group chat, which is then responded to with a fist bump, a flame, and the American flag emojis. What is this country?
I don't understand. I don't
I
really.
I feel like I'm watching an episode of The Boys, and I've never seen the show, so I can only imagine that this is generally what it's like. Because never in my wildest dreams did I ever think I would be having a conversation with someone and go, "Hey, did you hear about the security officers group chat
You don't even
that
have
they
to be
added?"
specific. All you got to say is the group chat, and most people know.
Yeah, if you say the group chat, everyone's like, "Yeah, I knew about the group chat," which I believe had a fun name as well.
Probably.
Yeah, the group chat pops up if you search it, by the way. Um, oh, that's because there's also a famous podcast called The Group Chat. But anyway, um, oh, there were more posts that got released, more text messages. I just, I don't understand it. So anyway, right after that happened, this is a Jasmine episode with Justin starring. I'm really sorry.
Justin's not starring,
This is a
Jasmine. You're
huge topic for me
starring
because I'm
here.
genuinely worried about my like everyday.
Justin's a secondary cast member right now. Backstage. I'm here keeping stuff going.
At the moment.
I'm moving around too.
Well, also my husband just hopped on the Wi-Fi because why not? Um. So, anyway, the Marjorie Taylor Greene interview. She's like in a hallway in this like BS podium that they set up for her with some mics, and she is clearly aggravated. This woman does not. I mean, she always looks kind of mad,
Angry,
but she's
yeah.
not like, you know, whatever. So she's like, next question, and that's how the interview starts. And this British reporter goes, you know, like,
I did
hello,
see that. Yeah.
where she's like, hello.
Are you from this country? Are you from this country?
Excuse me, where are you from?
Are you from this country?
Where are you from? Are you from this country? It was like, ma'am. And so when she was like, I'm from the UK. Okay, well, why don't you worry about yourself because your women are being like attacked by what'd she say, by aliens or by immigrants or something like that. And Elaine's
Something like
like, no,
that.
no, we're gonna focus on this.
My favorite part of it was the guy in the back. He goes, "Hi," and he says his name, and he goes, "I'm from
I'm
this
from this
country, and I want to know her answer."
I want to know your answer to her question. Then MTG is just like, oh my god, like it's insane. Oh, I have the list of people who were in the group chat. We have National Security Advisor Mike Waltz. That's a person you don't want in a group chat telling your secrets, you know? Um, we have our Vice President JD Vance. We have Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, known alcoholic and also adulterer, which used to get you fired from jobs. CIA Director. Oh my god, I did not realize that he was in the chat. I didn't realize our CIA director was in the chat. That kind of makes it worse. I'm going to be honest with you.
The whole thing is not good. Worse is not an
No.
option here. It's bad all around.
Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard, who is so unqualified. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff. Special Envoy to the Middle East and Ukraine also appears in the chat. Witkoff was in Russia for a meeting with President Vladimir Putin during part of the period leading up to the attack on Yemen. So while he was chatting in the group chat, he was...
Nice.
Scott B. Appears to be Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. White House Chief of... This is a big group chat. White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles? Secretary of State Marco Rubio. I truly hate that man. He kind of looks like the embodiment of foot fungus. Deputy National Security Alex Wong. Joe Kent. Who's Joe Kent? National Counterterrorism Center. My boy, you're the terrorist. What? What do you mean national terror? Brian McCormack for NSC. Walker Barrett, Jacob, and SM, who Goldberg reported he believed to be Trump advisor Stephen Miller. You can't be in a group chat for the national security and do initials. You gotta do full name like everyone else. Also, who added him? Who fucked up in that? Who's texting this man?
Okay, you pause for a second, because who added him? Who added the one who is working at a news source area? Like, who added that person?
That's what I mean. Who added the journalist?
Oh, okay.
Who's
I
texting
thought you
the
meant
journalist so frequently that they're like, group chat.
Yeah, we're cool. We're cool friends. Yeah.
Well, and it's not even like a text chat, which like I can see because you just add people and you accidentally click the name. You can't remove them easily. Yeah, so Signal Group conveyed details of the timing and weapons descriptions of a planned attack against the Houthis in Yemen. 18 Trump officials. That's a lot in a group chat. I don't ever want to be a part of something that large. Spokesperson for the National Security Conference appears to be authentic. Great.
So I have a hard topic change.
Please do, because I'm getting nauseous thinking about my future.
So, do you know what the month of April is? Like, what the
National Disability Awareness Month, National Autism Awareness Month, Financial Literacy Month.
You had the first two.
Yeah.
So more specifically, the autism awareness one, and I don't know if you've seen this or not, but there's a girl on Survivor who has autism, and it's like the first person who is outwardly like, hey, I have autism. It is something I deal with. Like, and she's like, I really like her. She's an awesome person on Survivor. I'm assuming she's probably pretty cool outside of Survivor.
I have a question when you're done.
Okay.
Keep going. You're good. It's not a big one.
Okay. But yeah, so she is on, and she was on a tribe with a guy that super cool guy, and felt really comfortable with him and said, hey, look, this is my situation. I have autism. I have these things which she called episodes, where she sometimes gets overwhelmed with all the situations, and one of her big things was she needed the pressure, which is pretty common for that kind of
autistic people. Yes.
Yeah. And so she had an episode on last week's episode.
Mhm.
And it was like a lot of the pressure from the challenge. She ended up succeeding,
Yeah.
which was really cool. But then she had like she
A
you know
meltdown. She had an episode.
meltdown. Yeah, she had the episode, and so and at this point, her and her person that she told is on a different tribe. So now they're not on the same tribe. She can't get the comfort from that person. It's a lot going on. But she ended up like having this episode, was still like freaking out, having that like I can't breathe, all of these things. And she had like all of her people or all of her tribe
She
mates
was in
around her.
sensory shutdown. Yeah.
Right. But she didn't have her person. And that was a big
Right.
thing. And a lot of people didn't understand that. And which is one thing that I don't want to get into because that's something that I will die on. I will die on that hill type of thing. But I ended up, or
What do
I
you
didn't
mean?
end up, like people who don't understand or get like are just very like are not willing to learn or listen. It's more of a, well, why can't you just get over yourself type of attitude. I hate that.
Oh. Yeah.
That
No,
makes me
that's a hill I
angry.
will die on. I'll kill for that hill.
Yeah. So
Kill for the hill.
she ended up
Segment episode. Kill for the hill.
kill for the hill. I mean, it is. We've been you. It's a pretty good episode name. Anyways,
I have many hills.
she ended up having the moment, and then Jeff said, "Hey, you know, go like," which they've never do. You know, tribes
Right.
never
They're separate,
intermingle. They're separate, especially after challenges. You don't intermingle after challenges. But they did this time because they recognized, and that was really good
They
on
saw a need and they
Jeff
filled
and
the
stuff,
need, yeah.
right? Which was
So-
awesome.
That answers my question. Never mind.
But then here's the part that I like. I'm at this point. I am very like. I don't emotion. I don't like motion. I am not good with emotional like
He
stuff.
tells kids that it's important to be emotional. and
It's
have
super
emotion.
important to be emotional.
Do as I say, not as I do. Type.
But
of
I struggle it with myself. I struggle with it myself. That's the big point that I'm trying to get at. And this episode, literally, I'm sitting in my room watching it, and I'm like fighting the tears from coming out of my eyes. I'm like, not happening. Nope, not happening. Nope, nope, nope. And then frickin' Jeff, who I have known for all of my life, he
Also,
chimes in.
Jeff is definitely a little autistic.
Probably, but he
Henry
chimes
is
in.
way too into this game.
I mean, so isn't a lot of people. But anyways, he chimes in and he starts like talking. He's like, you know, it's really cool to see like this happen, not because you're having an episode, but because this is something to bring awareness to autism and some things that can be helpful and da 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 da. And then he brought it into, he started saying something along the lines of like, and then you have like little girls and boys out there that see you in this scenario. And then he started crying, and I was like, no, not Jeff. And so that's when I was like, no, and then tears fell. It was a whole thing, but it was quite the episode over Survivor, which is super upsetting to me. But I understand it's healthy. I'm a health teacher. I get that, but
you know how many shows I watch specifically so I can get some emotion out, so I can tell myself I'm not a sociopath.
I don't do that. I don't.
Listen, there's been days I thought you were, because you just have no emotion besides joy.
I have emotion. I'm a golden retriever.
I have joy. I have anger. Me third.
I have other emotions. I just choose to tuck them away. I get sad. I get angry. I get depressed. I get confused. It's not an emotion, but
That's a state of being.
I get anxious a lot. Actually, my anxiety is a pretty high anxiety. I just tuck it away and like put it in the back pocket. I'm like, no, you stay right there.
That's how you develop OCD, Justin.
You know what? I don't have it yet.
Yeah, it's not fun.
I know it's not fun. I understand where I feel comfortable working through that anxiety. Whereas the people that you think that I am going to become, they don't.
Me. I think you're going to become me.
But I'm not. And I won't.
Listen, I got to tell you, having the therapy is good, but the meds have really helped me like access a different part of my brain I didn't even know existed. I can compartmentalize some stuff.
Mm-hmm. Which makes sense.
Wild.
It's awesome.
I didn't know you could focus on things and not hear like
Larry, Curly, and Moe in there, yeah.
I don't know who those people are, but yeah.
You don't know who Larry, Curly, and Moe are?
I do know who they are.
Who are they? Who are they?
From the Three Stooges, aren't they?
Okay.
Yeah, it's a pretty famous reference. Justin.
Well, you said you didn't know.
Yes, because I don't have anybody in here anymore, Justin. That's what I'm saying.
I understand that, but
So anyway, words. But yeah, no. So my question, actually, I will ask it because it's good. It's visibility. So it is Autism Visibility Month. So if you see someone who's autistic, acknowledge them because they're visible for this month only, and then they go away. It's limited. You don't like that joke? It's a funny joke. You can work in special ed for a while. It's funny when you work with.
I know
primarily.
a
It's a
good chunk
funny
of
joke.
it is funny. It is funny.
You know many autistic people.
I
Don't
do
you?
know many autistic
You
people.
yourself
I also
show
might
a
have
lot
some
of.
autism.
Well, if you have ADHD,
I would have the
you have a
Audi,
lot.
right? It would be Audi. How do you say that?
ADHD, sort of, but
ADHD. Is that not just combined? This is a legit question. Is that not just
so
like combined?
Okay, so I'm gonna sound like a horrible ableist here, and I just need you to be aware of that.
Oof. Oof,
Yes,
Jasmine.
so
Somebody push record right now.
we are
We're already
actively
recording.
So here's the thing. This is gonna sound horrible, and I'm not meaning it to be because ADHD absolutely exists. I think a lot of people who think that they have it do not, the same way I think a lot of people who think that they're autistic are not, because so many things are like comorbid symptoms. So, like, if you were to give me an autism diagnosis test, right, which is like how you diagnose autism, is with a bunch of, there's like a lot of things that you have to do to qualify, and there's different spectrums, and there's level 1, level 2, and blah, 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 blah. There's a lot that goes into
There's
the
that big book
diagnosis.
too.
The DSM-5, yes.
Yeah.
that has all the diagnoses. So you can have ADHD and you can have autism, but a lot of people who are like ADHD and they combine it together are the same people who say like neurospicy, and that's like how they describe themselves, and that it's cutesy pie, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like my autism is cutesy pie, and it's not like also an actual thing that you have. It's
It's more for show and less
it's more for show,
function.
right? And it's less of like, hey, so I'm Jasmine and I have ADHD. It's more like, I'm the ADHD blah 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 from the internet, or I'm the ADHD
But what?
Jasmine
So
and whatnot.
is it
So
them combined then? Like the real somebody who is diagnosed with it.
You have ADHD and you have autism.
So
Same
that's
as like,
what
yeah,
ADHD is then.
yes, but ADHD is not an official diagnosis.
Okay. So that's what I was getting at, is I didn't know like if it was or not. Because I thought like
now that I've said that,
I was gonna say I thought it was. I thought it had become an official one. Holy, you just got so bright.
my eyes. I clicked on the wrong screen.
While she finds answers for us, go to thesoccerking1239.com and get yourself some merch, because that is the best merch that you could get ever.
I'm actually wearing it right now.
Hey, me too. See? See?
Mine's this one, and I'm not turning around any further because that actually kind of hurt my neck.
But yeah, go get yourself some merch. It's awesome stuff. Good stuff. Real cool stuff.
Hey,
actually, hang on. Time out. We could do phone. We can do. Yeah, please.
That's fine.
We could do phone cases now.
Oh god, it's so bright. We can?
Yeah, I looked up the other day because a kid was asking, because they were thinking they wanted one of these, and I was like, psych. And so now we should probably look into that. Anyways, go ahead.
I wanted to talk to you about merch at some point too, but I'm gonna do this real quick because I'm realizing what time it is, and I know she has some.
Yeah,
stuff
you're
tonight,
fine.
For internet, but sorry, the sun is on now. So there has been recently a rise. I get it. You can tell when I'm about to get serious because I fidget so much. So there has been a rise in ADHD and autism diagnoses since like the last 10 years has really been rising. Now, there are two reasons for this. The first reason being obviously because we have the tools in order to diagnose kids and adults and all those things. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people are realizing like, hey, Uncle Bob, who's like obsessed with trains, was not just obsessed with trains. Like, he had a neurological thing. He wasn't obsessed with them. He had like it was a hyperfixation.
There was a diagnosis. Yeah.
There was a reason why he like would scream and hit the children if they went near the train room, a lot of dads who were like really into stats as a child or really into fishing, like all those things.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I have to have a certain brand of sweater and like, all the stuff. There's a reason for it. There is a neurological reason. Same with kids who, girls who were classified as ditzy and, well, they're just talkative and blah, blah, blah. There's a neurological reason why. And boys who are just, well, boys, that's where like the boys will be boys thing came from. It wasn't always about, men assaulting women. It was also boys will be boys. They're rowdy and rambunctious. No, not all of them. The ones
Say
with
a lot of them,
ADHD sure are.
a lot of them have ADHD.
Right. And a lot of them don't have ADHD. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of them that were diagnosed is because they're just energetic kids. It was ADHD boy because he moves a lot. Well, he's moving a lot because his pants are itchy and he's washed his underwear in 5 days because he's nasty. Like, you know?
Right.
So a lot of things have come out of that. Same with like the autism and stuff like that. Like more diagnoses have happened and that's good. And there's an oversaturation of it in special ed. That's why a lot of kids with special ed needs are not getting what they're supposed to, because how can you provide for all these kids in special ed when everybody somehow now has this diagnosis? Because now it's not special education, it's just education.
Education, yeah.
And the kids who actually need it are not getting the supports they need because parents with more money are paying to have their kids get in. And so it's like a whole system. So ADHD is not a real thing. It is something that some internet person came up with to define their own personal experience, and that's great that they found a way to define it, and that that they found a way to feel comfortable with it, because it is hard having a comorbid disease, not disease, sorry, disability. But at the same time, like, now it's become a thing where people are saying they are diagnosed with ADHD, and you physically cannot be diagnosed with that because it does not exist.
Doesn't exist. Right.
Right. It's like because I have ADHD and OCD, right? It'd be weird if I said I have ODHD.
Right.
OCD
It was just
and
like
ADHD, like,
it was just something somebody made up online is basically
right.
what you're saying.
Same thing as like, so there are legit people who say that they are diagnosed with neurospiciness because they took something that was so chronically online and they took it off and they think this is a real thing, even though there's nothing about that in the DSM-5. And
Right.
it is not a diagnosis for neurological things unless it is in there.
Right.
To the
Which
best of my knowledge.
I was gonna say, and the DSM-5 is pretty highly updated. Like
yay
it's
big.
huge. It's
the
huge.
DSM-6 is coming, but it's going to take years to do. So, there are a lot of things with ADHD and autism that are similar. So, like, if I were to take the test right now, I would test pretty high because I have a lot of symptoms that are, in terms of what it is, they are autistic in, certain things that I do, and certain, like, I'm very rigid about certain things. But I also have a large amount of cognitive flexibility for changes in my environment. So those two don't mix.
Yeah.
It's like you have to have a certain percentage of something and have these, few things. Same with ADHD, is like, whatever.
Yeah.
It's also why, like, self-diagnosis is so good, because you can say, like, I recognize myself in these, and there are so many online tests. But after you self-diagnose, if you want it as an adult, especially, if you want to be able to do something with that diagnosis, you need to then go see someone who can actually diagnose you,
right,
instead of posting about it in your bio on TikTok,
I'll use, like, we could use me as an example. I'm a prime example of that. Like, I went through school, I graduated college, I got a job and got married, got a house, got all these like big life events, and then decided, you know what, I think there might be something else. Like, I think there might be
impacting me.
Yeah. Right. And it's not like it's like impacted me to the point that I can't do anything. Obviously I can, but it took me 25 years to finally go in, 26 years, whatever it was, to finally go in and say, I would like to get tested. So, like, it does happen. And it's if I were not to, and if I were, like, we started this podcast and I told Jasmine, I was like, I feel like a fraud. Like, no impulse control. Yeah, you have it for sure, but I'm not diagnosed with anything. Like, that's not, I feel like I am running you guys, you fans, astray because I'm, not actually. Which is, I mean, realistically, obviously, if you have no impulse control, that's just a general thing. Like, you can also
Well,
just have
right.
no impulse control without having
You can have a
ADHD.
bad impulse control because you weren't trained as a child. Trained is
Right.
a bad word. You weren't
You
taught as a
weren't
child.
taught, yeah. So
You
like
weren't
it's just
whipped
one
as a
of
child
those
enough.
it's just one of those things that like, yeah, it definitely does. It does happen,
Mm-hmm.
and unfortunately you do see that a lot, especially now
Mm-hmm.
with the idea it is
Oh,
so dark in your
oh,
space.
that's
Wow.
so nice.
Especially
Oh.
with the idea of like things becoming
Mm-hmm.
like more commonly talked about, and like you said, with that
Yeah.
ability of like, oh, people are
Well,
actually getting the things that they need in school, or the supports that they need, so people are
right.
starting to see that and maybe wanting that a little more type of thing.
And there are a lot more teachers now. Like, so I'm a prime example of that type of teacher, and so are you. I provide things for my kids as if everybody needs it,
Yeah.
and then I tailor certain things. So, like,
Yeah.
if I have fidgets for one, I have fidgets for all,
Yep.
but I buy specific fidgets for some kids because they need a specific thing, you know?
Yep.
Because I give everybody the same opportunity and then I tailor as I see the need.
Right.
It's like the baseball reference of like, the fence is the same, but I
Yeah.
tailored the boxes to fit the need of the kid. Um, without taking away from the other kids. Like, I'm
Right.
not going to say, I bought one fidget and Johnny, who needs it because he just, his hands are better busy. He's not diagnosed with anything, but Johnny needs it. I'm not going to take it from him because Sally needs it more. I'll
Right.
just buy two.
I mean,
So,
we were also brought up in schools when that was the common practice, was that those who needed it were gonna get it, but everybody else you had to like suck it up type of thing.
oh, okay, yeah, no, you know what? That's a fair point. I was thinking, it was like, I don't know about that, but
It
actually,
was,
in high
and
school, yeah,
that was
it
also
was
very
common.
like, it was common, but it also was very like it
Ew.
pointed out who it put a target on their back, basically. If they didn't
Oh
have
yeah.
that target, it was now there because this kid gets some special treatment because they need
Mm-hmm.
this support, which to me is wrong. Like, obviously it's a
Yes.
bad mindset to have, but also, like, as a teacher, I'm like, no, if I'm going to support one kid, I'm going to support all kids, and then, like you said, tailor it to what I need to. If I give a test,
Yes.
everybody's going to get the same test, but if I need to take some questions off or have a modified test, I'll absolutely
Differentiate.
do
Yeah.
that. I'll differentiate for them. Yeah.
That's that UDL we learned about.
Yeah.
Um, but one of the other things, like, so that was why the rise of push-in support, so like an ed tech coming into your room rather than kids being pulled, was so big,
Yeah.
was because kids get bullied for being in special education. Let's call it what it is.
Yeah.
Y'all kids are ruthless.
Absolutely
When
mean.
kids go to special ed, they get bullied at a higher percentage. And that's why a lot of kids who are in special ed also, this is just a personal conspiracy theory of mine, but there's a large correlation between kids who receive special education academic services who've had no behavioral problems getting bullied, right? So, like, there's that timeline. There's a huge correlation between those kids and then suddenly seeing an uptick once they get into older grades and kids realize what's happening of behavior problems or skipping out, or they come to class and they have the worst attitude you've ever seen. So then IEP's goals get written about it, so then teachers focus on it because IEP goals, so then the kids get more hit flack, and like there's a huge like
Yeah.
cycle that happens. um but that's also why, so you can have, like I was saying, you can have both ADHD and you can have autism at the same time. They are not mutually exclusive things. A lot of them overlap, so it's like some
Yeah.
studies say meh, not that many people have both. Like, there's a few studies that say in roughly 20% of all diagnosed autistic people, roughly only 20% of them actually have ADHD as a comorbidity. And in all of the people who are diagnosed with ADHD, it's roughly 25% that actually also have autism. But some have up to 80% on, for the diagnosed autistic with comorbidity of ADHD, and like whatever. So it
Hmm.
just depends on the study and your sample size and people being honest on their test, because then you also get adults who do things online, like every single thing. And I fell into that trap a while ago before doing research, but like every single thing is ADHD related. Like, oh, you have a knee that twinges? That's ADHD. Oh, you do this one very particular thing? Oh, that's an autistic trait. No, that's just what people do, you
And
know?
say people are just gonna do stuff like that.
Right. Like, I saw one recently that made me go like, "Oh, this is a stupid trend." But it was like, it took like a generalized thing that like a lot of girls do because they saw like somebody carrying it, but it was like holding your arms like T-Rex arms. I T-Rex arm when I don't know what to do, so I kind of walk around going like this because like I'm either doing this with my fingers to get stuff off or I'm like mentally filing tabs.
Mhm.
I T-Rex arm it not because of my ADHD or autism. It's something I learned to do when I'm trying to focus. Like, yes, my ADHD and autism, but it's not everybody with ADHD and autism does this.
Right.
It's because like so it's one of
People
those things.
can do it because of it, but it's not
A
because
square is a
of.
rectangle, but a rectangle is
Right.
not a square.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
can do it and I have ADHD, but not because of my so
Right.
and that was where a big uptick in self-diagnosis. Like you see those videos all the time where people are like, "Do you do these 7 things? That means you're hypermobile."
Yeah.
Girly pop, I broke my elbow a few years ago. I'm not hypermobile. I just never I didn't, but like people. But yeah.
I do you want to I have something, but I don't
What is
really
it?
want to jump.
No, what is it?
It was going to be working out.
Oh no, I don't actually want to talk about that at all.
Okay. We did like early on in the podcast we did talk about it, and then I was like, we haven't talked about that for a long time,
Guess
and
who's
maybe
paying for a
there's
gym membership
updates.
she hasn't been
You're
to?
still paying for that?
I'm paying for a
Jasmine.
new one, actually. I canceled my old one and got a new one. I got it at Planet Fitness. I went,
Would it help if I told you that I am back on the working out ship so that way
I'm
you
really
could
proud of
use
you.
it? Well, I was gonna say that way you could use it and be like, well, that I can do that too, type of thing, because that does
Oh,
happen with us.
it
Um,
does, but right now I'm so invested in repo that I can think of you. And no, I need you to be aware of this. I am addicted to this game.
you are addicted to the
I
game.
don't know
How
why.
many
It's
invites did
so
you
fucking
send me the other
addictive.
night?
I sent you
8?
two. No,
Uh-uh.
so no,
Uh-uh.
no, 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 no. Listen, I
Uh-uh.
sent. Stop. You just shut up for a second.
Uh-uh.
I sent two, right? So I sent the first one. You didn't respond for a while, so I sent the second one. Then I closed out of the thing, and it popped back open, and I was like, "That's weird." So this is when I had my corrupted mod, which I have now gotten rid of, and there was malware on my computer, but it's gone now. I figured it out. I don't know what happened, but anyway, so I sent that one. Then I sent one to Toast, I think, and he joined. And then the message popped up, and it was like the list of how many invites I sent you, and I was like, "What? No, I didn't."
I was gonna say it dinged and dinged and dinged and dinged and
Yeah,
dinged, and I was like, Jasmine, cut it out.
I
Like,
wasn't trying to. I only clicked it twice before quitting out and inviting Toast instead.
it also didn't help
Just
that you
so.
were texting me and sending
Okay, the
those.
texting I was doing, that was me.
Yeah.
Well, you weren't
Anyways,
responding.
but yeah, I was in the middle of a conversation.
Huh. Interesting. I'll remember that next time.
No, you won't. You have ADHD. Jasmine, where can they find you?
I don't know. I forgot.
Yeah, so that's fair. All right.
They
Well,
can
we'll see
find
you
me
in the
over
next one.
Jasminsta. 1721 on things or Jasminsta on other things. Um, I just wheezed and it really hurt. They can find the show over at No Impulse Control on TikTok and Instagram. And then I think on YouTube, we're actually called No Impulse Control Pod. But I could be wrong on that. I truly can't remember.
Well,
Are
now I
you
must
looking at it
know.
right now? Because I can't. I think we're Pod on that one.
We
Um.
are no impulse control, just regular.
Oh, on YouTube?
Yeah.
On YouTube? Oh,
Uh,
ketchup.
no, you're right. If you're looking it up, it's no impulse control pod,
Okay. So you can find us over there. We post every Sunday at 5 p.m. Except when we post a random one, and that'll be surprising for everybody. That'll be because I
including
forgot the
us.
other day. Yeah, that'll be because I forgot the day it's supposed to post. Um, we are getting into some warmer weather, so hopefully you'll see more outfits from me.
Instead of
And
a black
hopefully some new
sweatshirt.
merch. It's comfortable. You should get it on the merch store, which is over at thesoccerking1239.com. We will have new merch soon. I have been working on some designs. I pinky promise. I just keep forgetting to share them with my co-host. Well, I'm the star of the show today, and my producer, Justin. Take it away.
You find me at the Soccer King 1239 or
I have a design
TSK 1239, wherever you want to look, except for Twitter because we all understand that. There we go. But we'll see you in the next one. Right as we figure out the difference between there, and there. Peace out.
Bye.